Go, 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 let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick, I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Your bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most, I tell her, little bitch, you so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me, niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers.
The vision of a world-class player. These eyes seem to be the key to what is needed to turn 0 into 1. But the protagonists of our story unlock them a little later on. So, let's change that. What if Yoichi Isagi discovered METAVISON earlier? The first big thing when doing a what if like this would be where he would discover such an ability. But I think changing his past, well, that makes it easier for us. So let's begin before he even enters Blue Lock. Yoichi Isagi is seen at the age of 6, wherein his parents discovered his football talents. The boy had an innate skill for the sport, and it came naturally to him. Seeing this, they wanted to turn his talents into something greater and began nurturing them early on, especially his mother, who, let's say, played professionally for Japan in the past. A young Yoichi Isagi would have trainers and play for different club teams in his local area, as well as playing for his school teams. Throughout his life, he's taught the fundamentals of the sport and how it requires a team to win games. So in this story for the beginning, Isagi actually plays the center attacking midfielder position, or CAM for short. His playstyle includes sharp and accurate passes to open up his teammates, as well as calculated and powerful shooting, which would unlock his direct shot technique way earlier on in this story. This young Isagi continued to flourish in the football world, looking up to players like Noah, who would win World Cups and different in-season tournaments. As this would all lead to a middle school Isagi in his first district tournament. He was only 12 at the time, but his team would make it to the semifinals. The two teams battle it out, with Isagi actually scoring and gaining assists in this match. However, it wouldn't be enough to win, as it would still be tied towards the end of it. As in the final minutes, Isagi began thinking harder and harder. Just how? How could he get a goal so that his team could win? What would be the deciding factor in this match? Isagi closed his eyes, allowing all of this to run through his mind, until awakening a new ability. When the game continues on, Isagi can use his newly awakened spatial awareness to score the final goal with a direct shot to end the match. Still, as he was on a high horse, heading into the championship, he would be crushed by an even stronger team. With his natural abilities, spatial awareness, and direct shot, he wasn't enough at all, causing him to question his life as a footballer. All his life, he was told he would be great with those around him. But this loss, could it really be his fault? His coach and mother stated that it wasn't. So why did he lose? Why was this feeling so cruel? Why did he feel so desperate to do anything to win now? While looking deep into himself, Isagi would realize the way he was playing football had to be wrong. Trying to include others in his victory was completely foolish, especially since they didn't have the same desires as him to win. While sitting at dinner one night, Isagi would tell his mother and father that he wishes to change positions to that of a striker. His mother, who played the CAM position as well, wanted to question this. However, before she could say anything, the words of her son pierced through her thoughts. For me to be able to be a striker, it means I decide the outcome of any game I play with my abilities and skill alone. I'll be the one to turn the score from 0 into a 1. If I become the best striker, then I can't lose. His father then calls this foolish because football is a team sport with 11 players on the field. If it is, then why is someone like Noah so successful? He doesn't even play with his team. His mother would further question this, saying what he means, as Isagi takes a deep breath, standing up. From what I can see with these new eyes, Noah doesn't play with his team. His own team follows his ideal. With this, Isagi begins his new journey to become a complete striker. So for now, He only plays with the club team and his trainers. This all leads to him awakening METAVISON in his final year of junior high before he turns 15. With this, he dominated for the next few games, but he also returned to play for Ichin High. And this means with METAVISON now awakened, Isagi soon realized his body could no longer keep up with his mind or his skills. And to take his game to the next level, he needed to train his body. And a reason that I could come up with why he wasn't training his body already, since his parents did have personal trainers working with them, it's simply he did, but not to the level that we're used to from Blue Lock. As he begins that now, actually going for a body similar to Noel Noah. So by the end of the season, this Isagi is much more muscular, so he can truly utilize METAVISON for an entire match. So, when Ichinan High faces Kira's junior high team, they completely obliterate them, with Isagi as their only striker. He holds nothing back, showing why he became a complete player. The coach even strategizes for playing around Isagi so that it makes sure that he could score. With this victory, Isagi claims to the world that a new age of football has already begun, as Japan will soon make their own comeback. Around the world, there are those known as the New Gen 11, but each one of them does recognize Isagi for his remarkable accomplishments, as Isagi is seen as uncrowned New Gen striker. As many reporters interview him, calling him the next big thing in football, but he ignores this, taking note of a man with glasses standing in the background while smiling, as he walks past another person and looks at that same position. The man was gone, as he left a sour taste in Isagi's mouth and his mind, wondering just who that was and why he felt so creeped out. After this match, Isagi is invited into Blue Lock. He doesn't know if he wishes to go, but he decides to check it out. This is where Igo's speech motivates Isagi, awakening him even further. He steps through, taking a good look at the man with glasses, recognizing him, as he was the one at the end of his match. Now, with Blue Lock beginning, Isagi was given the number 265, as he would enter and meet with Team Z. This Isagi's personality is much more quiet and reserved. He's very calculated when playing, so when the game of tag does begin, he doesn't get hit at all, no matter what. He actually avoids Monk, as do the rest of the team, which means instead of Kira being eliminated, Monk was, and he was forced to return to the temple. They would then have their own training to improve their physical abilities. But this was nothing to Isagi. He was so used to his own hellish training that this felt like a breeze. But knowing he needed to become the best, he increased the reps of all his training. This was the only way that he would see growth. The others on the team took inspiration from this and did so as well. As I haven't talked much, but Kira does, follow in Isagi's footsteps, trying to become better than him to one day defeat him. As for Bachira, he senses a different kind of monster within Isagi, something his imagination doesn't even let him see. And with their first match being declared, they wondered who would play the striker position, but Isagi claimed he would be playing up front whether they like it or not, and if they wanted to win, they would listen to him. Isagi picks out everyone's positions, and then says this is the lineup best suited for his success. The others would of course argue, believing that they could do better than him, but Kira would speak through the fog, saying that they should give it a chance at least and just see what happens. When they do, Isagi walks off to go train. Anri and Ego both watch him, with Anri saying that this one is a little different, and Ego sits back. Yes, he is. The unranked or uncrowned new gen striker, Yoichi Isagi, from a young age, was watched due to his mother being such a prominent face in football. Even though she doesn't play the striker position, it seems that in his search for glory, it was passed on to him. Ego then looks at the screen, wondering how the first match would go with him playing against another team. Could he really lead them, the worst team supposedly in Blue Lock, to victory? When the match began, of course everyone was still fighting for the ball. Through it all, Isagi steals it and begins dribbling ahead, with only Baru chasing after him. He stops and then spins around the king, bursting away with even more speed. Baru thinks a move like that was impossible to pull off, but Isagi was already gone. He dribbled through defenders with ease, and then sent a left-footed shot into the net. He claims that this will be easy enough, so make this fun for him. The king, angered by this, tries to respond, but with his new vision, Isagi is able to stop him, seeing through the attack, calling out to the midfield, while Yoichi and Kunigami would body block him, leaving it open for Kira to steal the ball and get it to Bachara sitting across. The young footballer dribbles it with the monster, demolishing those in front of him, but then crosses it back to Isagi. Yoichi and Kuon call this a wasted attack since Isagi was on his own, but this is when he shows off his jumping ability, trapping the ball with his chest and then kicking it while still in the air to score another goal. With this super goal now under his belt, Isagi clutches his fist, celebrating that he was able to pull off a volley like this, of this caliber, so easily in a match. He knew it was possible for him to do this, but now, it opened up a brand new realm of shooting for him. So this is what Blue Lock truly has in store for him. He likes it, this feeling. It's overwhelming. It's almost addicting. The match, of course, continued, with Baru eventually getting by and getting off another shot, but it stopped by Gagamaru, who has been trained with Isagi shooting against him, so this was nothing. As for the rest of Team Z, they continue to contribute to the 6-0 win against Team X. Isagi, of course, had 4 goals for himself, but I believe Bachara and Kunigami would each have 1, with an assist from Yoichi, Kuon, and Kira. The team, or Team Z, realized that Isagi is on a completely different level when it comes to football, and they haven't even seen anything just yet. As now for our king Baru, he was devastated by the loss to what was supposed to be the weakest team. So he looks to Isagi, asking what made him like this, what made him become so strong. Isagi turned to him smiling. The same feeling you have right now. Loss, desperation, agony, guilt, all of it. And that's what made me to the person I am today, because I don't ever wish to have that feeling when doing something I love again. With that, Isagi exits the field, celebrating with the rest of his team for their first victory, as that night he reviews the match and the highlights, especially his own goals, to see what could be improved on, which is when Kira walks into the room, as the two have their own conversation, and we don't get to see much of it, but this all leads to their very next match. Although I will say before this match, their team does talk about their weapons and a strategy, but Isagi reveals his own, stating he can do everything that they can do, just better. None of it matters because he'll score and change 0 into a 1 time and time again, no matter how many times they need him to. Goals can be produced by those who wish to change the reality they currently face. The team is now later seen walking back onto the pitch where Team Y would greet them. They actually do outpace this team really well because of the more intense training that they've been doing. This Isagi, or version of him, is slowly causing a butterfly effect in Team Z and those around him, especially in the characters who we've grown accustomed to seeing from the main cast. Isagi throws up his hand, saying that they can't lose here, not until they reach the top. With this match now kicking off, all the players rush around and try to steal the ball, but it seems that Team Y has their own plan and they're just passing it around. Isagi still predicts one of the passes that would go to Iki Nico and then gets open. Team Y and their defenders crowd Isagi, making it impossible for him to see the goal. Kunigami stood next to him, so instead of passing, he fakes the pass, turning their heads to the right, and with this, Isagi then sprints through them, taking a left-footed shot going into the net. As Nico claims, it's just like they predicted. They have no hope in winning this match unless they can stop Yoichi Isagi.